CVM News at 7 headlines Tuesday, courtesy of Heart NSTA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, Dr. Clark highlights opposition inaccuracies in closing the budget debate. Walk it back, lobby group slams a special report handling, and House Speaker succumbs to pressure and tables AG reports.
Also this evening, JTA to commission study on teacher deaths. In the business report, IDB reveals priority spending for MSMEs. While in sports, Blake set for 100-meter showdown in Shanghai. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. I'm Stephen McHugh.
And I'm Curlin Brown. It's Tuesday, March 26, 2024. Thanks so much for joining us. The finance minister had the attention of the nation for a second time during the budget debate on Tuesday, as he was given the opportunity to deliver the closing arguments.
But it was not without the usual jabs and swipes at critics, chief among them the opposition leader. Andrew Laidley reports.
On this occasion, the finance minister spoke for only 2 hours. During those hours, he focused on debunking statements made by opposition leader Mark Golding. Ascribing to himself the role of a referee, he accused Mr. Golding of misleading the nation with incomplete statistics, consistently raising a red card to indicate foul play.
Red card! Red card, right? Coming up here and expect that because of Mr. Panaris, we're going to believe what he said. See the table there, see the data there, everybody can see it for themselves. Madam Speaker, the opposition leader ludicrously and misleadingly states that tax revenue of the population increased.
Aside from the political banter, the finance minister reiterated key revenue measures he disclosed in his own budget debate presentation. These included no new taxes, the increased income tax threshold, as well as the removal of GCT on imported raw foods. But by the end of his presentation, there were still no clear details on key matters surrounding the securitization of assets, nor realistic timelines for the operationalization of the reverse tax credit benefit. Despite the absence of details surrounding those matters, Dr. Clark remains resolute that he has presented a solid estimate of expenditure for the upcoming fiscal year, which will redound to the benefit of all Jamaicans.
This is a government that, in the pursuit of economic freedom and social justice, improves the standard of living of the Jamaican people, with per capita income rising even as we strengthen the social safety net.
Now, House Speaker Juliet Holness is still under fire for her handling of reports from the Auditor General and the Integrity Commission. On Monday, just days after the government claimed there were no outstanding reports, CVM News told you of a letter from the Speaker to the House Clerk suggesting another reason for report delays. Well, Jamaicans for Justice, JFJ, came out saying it was time the House Speaker backpedals. Here's Raman Gordon with that development.
Human rights lobby group Jamaicans for Justice is urging House Speaker Juliet Holness to reverse a contentious decision regarding the handling of Auditor General and Integrity Commission reports. Last November, Mrs. Holness introduced a new parliamentary rule stipulating that some special reports must first go to an oversight committee before being tabled. The move raised concerns among integrity watchdogs like the Jamaica Accountability Meter portal JAMP, which questioned its implications. The National Integrity Action NIA also criticized Holness's decision as seriously flawed.
The House Speaker has ruled based on an interpretation of Section 30 of the Financial Administration and Audit Act. From our reading of Section 30, it provides the House Speaker with no discretion whatsoever. It is very concerning to us here at JFJ that the Attorney General had submitted his written opinion to the House Speaker, and that written opinion was not shared before the House of Representatives.
Holness had faced mounting criticism following word that two crucial Auditor General reports, one concerning the Tax Administration of Jamaica TAJ and the other involving the Financial Services Commission FSC, had yet to be tabled. That changed today, although the government had initially said there were no outstanding reports.
At this point, what you find is that there's so many questions swirling around. The public is not aware of what is happening, and then the type of trust that one would want of our members of parliament is being eroded by the House Speaker. Unintentionally so, we believe, but that is the impact and the effect.
There are in fact reports to be tabled, but they were sent back to the Auditor General on Friday after House Clerk Valerie Curtis allegedly breached new House rules for handling special reports. Holness in a letter slammed Curtis, accusing her of dereliction of duty.
There begs the question whether or not the House Speaker's interpretation of how the FAA is to be exercised means that the House Speaker is empowering herself with discretion that she has no authority to do. And secondly, whether or not the House Speaker intentionally or unintentionally may have caused further delay of critical transparency reports. Those reports have now been delayed.
Ramon Gordon for CVM News.
And amid growing opposition today, the House Speaker conceded and tabled two of the outstanding Auditor General reports. However, she refrained from sharing the initial legal opinion that convinced her to change how the reports are tabled in the first place. Here again is Ramon Gordon.
Amid growing pushback, House Speaker Juliet Holness has decided to table two outstanding Auditor General reports today, March 26. The bombshell decision follows word from the Auditor General that Mrs. Holness had last week returned the reports to her office on Friday after Parliamentary Clerk Valerie Curtis allegedly failed to comply with House rules on the matter. In the hours since the scathing letter to Curtis by the Speaker was made public, Holness has been accused of trying to throw the civil servant under the bus. Holness says any decision made in the House is done in good faith.
I have taken note of the many perspectives expressed in the public domain on my ruling regarding the tabling of reports from the Auditor General. Let me state categorically, any action taken by me was and will always be done with the sole intention of upholding the laws of Jamaica, as I am sworn to do.
Though the public will soon know the content of those two audits, Jamaicans remain largely in the dark regarding the legal opinion that prompted Holness to change how the reports were tabled. Her opinion on that matter has not changed.
The opinion of the Parliamentary Legal Counsel was circulated to the Parliament and the public. That has not changed.
We want to repeat our claim.
You can repeat, and I'm saying the Speaker's ruling, member, with absolute respect, is final in this regard. There is nothing to hide, but it is the Speaker's discretion. It is the Speaker's discretion.
Meanwhile, the opposition says the letter to House Clerk Valerie Curtis is most unfortunate. In the letter, Holness slammed the veteran public servant, saying her alleged actions brought the House into disrepute. The opposition wants an apology.
I know that there might be discussions taking place, but I don't think the public would feel satisfied of your coming today, going through the process without saying something. We were really expecting that the letter would have been withdrawn today, Madam Speaker.
On the matter of the clerk, I advise you, both from myself and the clerk, that we are in dialogue and wish to say nothing else at this time.
Ramon Gordon for CVM News.
And Nika Lewis has joined us with more details of the long-awaited Auditor General's reports that were tabled earlier today. She focuses on the most glaring of the three, a special audit on Tax Administration Jamaica. Nika, walk us through the findings and the recommendations.
Well, thanks, Stephen. As you mentioned, it's just one of some of these documents that we've received. And this one is a 20-page document dated January 29, 2024. It outlines several concerning findings, but chief among them is the National Land Agency aspect that says the NLA must give written permission to MDAs. Those are ministries, divisions, agencies, departments, agencies rather, prior to entering into lease agreements. Additionally, the justification for leasing said property must include the advice of the Commissioner of Lands. But let's see what the findings actually said. The main findings found that as at August 2023, TAJ, Tax Administration Jamaica, expended 15 million Jamaica dollars for the lease of a property in Anotta Bay, St. Mary. Now, the TAJ did not receive written permission from the Commissioner of Lands, which is why I read that to you before, to indicate prior entry into this lease arrangement for the Anotta Bay property. So that appears to be the first of the breaches. So the TAJ, it says, is yet to occupy property leased in Greenvale, Mandeville. As at August 2023, TAJ expended a total of $356 million, just a little bit more than that actually, over the past 3 years. And in conclusion, as part of its recommendation, the Auditor General is noting that the TAJ's standard operating procedures, SOP, powers for the director's sole discretion for the identification and selection of property suitable for lease must be considered. However, it says the SOP is not consistent with best practices of accountability and transparency and should therefore be aligned with the relevant GOJ policies and regulations. Accordingly to Stephen, the Auditor General says the TAJ should ensure the segregation of responsibilities for identifying and selecting properties for lease. The director should also identify suitable properties for lease, which would be shortlisted for submission to an independent committee for final selection. So the report states, based on the funds already expended, the Tax Administration Jamaica must urgently put in place the necessary arrangements for the timely completion of its renovation projects to reduce the level of nugatory expenditure, especially at the Anotta Bay location, given safety concerns at the current office. So as we've mentioned, it's a minute portion of what's there. It's 20 pages. This is only one of 3 documents we've received. And so naturally, we will have to peruse these documents a little more in depth to give you all the details and the major happenings there. Back to you, Stephen.
Thanks, Nika. And of course, CVM will have more on this evolving story. CVM News at 7 returns right after this break.
Headlines Tuesday, courtesy of Heart and STA Trust, Jamaica's human development agency.
Since they were on sale, Max bought things he and his brethren didn't really need. Hungry for deals? Come to KFC to satisfy your hunger before doing something crazy. With the new Crunch Sandwich Combo for just $600, a deal that's truly finger-licking good. KFC.
Codes ready, cash. Money, move. Take a loan, enter to win. Money, move. Win cash, win a bike or a smart TV. Could even win a brand new car. Take a ready cash loan of $80,000 or more between February 19 and April 18, and you'll be automatically entered for a chance to win cash, a TCL Smart TV, AKT bike, or a 2024 Honda Creta. Big money move.
Authorized under Section 58(3) of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Codes ready, cash ready when you are. Big money move.
Conditions apply.
Shop now and save in Active Home Center Home Sweet Home Sale, Wednesday, March 20th to 27th. Take up to 30% off selected tiles, bathroom fixtures, lighting, and so much more. Shop selected 18-inch ceramic tiles starting at $199 plus GCT. This sale lasts for 1 week only, so don't miss out. Visit our showrooms in Kingston and Montego Bay. Conditions apply. Active Home Center. More savings, more choices.
CVM News at 7 Tuesday, brought to you by KFC.
Hungry for deals? Get the new Crunch Sandwich Combo from KFC for just $600. KFC, it's finger licking good.
We welcome you back with some other news now. The Santan Police have issued an Easter weekend advisory in anticipation of the upcoming festivities. The police are advising that amidst the fun, commuters must be cautious on the roadways. Here's Celine Campbell with more.
For the approaching Easter weekend, the Santan Police are already anticipating a string of festivities accompanied by increased traffic and mass gatherings. Commanding Officer for the Parish, Senior Superintendent of Police, SSP Dwight Powell, says the plethora of permit applications have solidified the fact that it will be a hectic weekend for the force. He notes plans are already in place to maintain order and to ensure patrons' safety remains a priority.
We have engaged our partner from the Public Safety Traffic Enforcement Branch. We will be deploying additional traffic resources on our main arterial road, especially between Miami Bay Roundabout and the Priory section, where we are seeing heavy build-up even on good days.
SSP Powell foresees Saturday as the most intense and therefore urges the public to factor additional travel time. He's advocating for a peaceful yet fun-filled Easter weekend.
We will, however, be doing everything that is humanly possible to ensure that our roadway is kept free of congestion, and we will be exerting the effort to ensure that the parish remains safe over the holiday period. We want to use the opportunity also to encourage those who will be visiting the parish to ensure that you abide by the law and order and ensure that the peace is maintained during this holiday period.
Celine Campbell for CVM News.
In other news, as Haiti grapples with yet another wave of challenges, the country's significance and value within the Caribbean region comes into focus. Despite being plagued by ongoing crises, the nation holds distinct importance to its neighboring countries, justifying its plea for help. Celine Campbell again reports.
Haiti, the world's first black republic that broke the chains of colonial oppression and declared itself free in 1804. Its courageous revolution inspired hope across the islands, igniting the flames of freedom in the hearts of other countries, to include Jamaica. But Haiti has been paying for its survival, both literally and figuratively, following consistent humanitarian crises. The ongoing string of misfortunes in the country raises questions about why is Haiti consistently facing adversity.
Haiti is a very special case. Haiti has been on the receiving end of unfair treatment at the end of their former colonizers. The country has also been a victim of political instability. It's also the only country in the Caribbean that is considered to be a low-income economy, while most other Caribbean nations are currently classified as upper middle-income economies. So to answer your question, as what can Haiti offer to us, we have to contextualize the discussion. Haiti has been on the receiving end of unfair treatment at the end of their former colonizers. The country has also been a victim of political instability. The country the economy of the country has been in a state of, the economy of the country has never had a real functional economy, in the sense that even after they gained independence, they were cut off from the international trade system. So Haiti was never really given a fair chance.
Assistant lecturer in the Faculty of Social Sciences at the UWI-Mona, Damian Gordon, reminds Haiti's problems are not confined to its borders. He explains the repercussions of a failed state will only invite others to exploit the situation through criminal organizations or to follow suit.
When you have a country where, the system of government has been overthrown or eroded by extra legal actors or extra state actors, that sets a very dangerous precedent for other countries, because it sets a precedent that a democratically elected government in another Caribbean state can be overthrown by gangs.
Gordon therefore echoes calls for Jamaica and the Caribbean community, CARICOM, to unite and render any assistance to Haiti. He adds all is welcome.
It's not binding that we have to help, but that helping a neighbor during a time of crisis is is really consistent with the spirit of regionalism. The needs of the Haitians are immediate, and there are so many. There are 15 CARICOM member states, and we can pull together and provide whatever level of support we can.
The ongoing surge of violence in Haiti has left some 15,000 people homeless and the country's security powerless against armed gangs. Celine Campbell for CVM News.
Stay tuned. More CVM News at 7 after the break.
Make we steam it, fresh so me need it. Tilapia a real fish. Cook it up and make we roast it. Farm fresh so me need it. Tilapia a real fish. Grow smart at the best part. Food for thought so me have to eat smart. Easy catch, fully net. A tilapia so you don't know what's next. Cook it up and make we fry it. Fresh so me need it. Tilapia a real fish. Bring home the best in freshwater fish. High content of vitamin B3, protein and potassium. Tilapia, simple, healthy, delicious. Tasty beat, serve, sell me some bun and cheese. Tasty beat, cheese, Tasty beats with tasty cheese.
What's your story? What's your sign? Good dreamers, don't care what other people say. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive.
Welcome back. It's time for our business report with Andrew Lately.
In the business report today, the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, has disclosed plans to prioritize funding for micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs, amid mounting concerns that small firms are struggling to bounce back from shocks.
The evidence is clear that your operations tend to suffer the most. For us as an institution, to protect the region's people, we believe that we must address this issue with urgency. Research, partnerships like what we have with the PSOJ, innovation, targeted climate programs, investment in resiliency measures, and design and execution of ESG policies and other interventions.
At the same time, General Manager for the Country Department Caribbean Group and Country Representative in Jamaica, Anton Edmonds, urged small businesses to remain agile in order to stay afloat.
Businesses must adapt. The way you run your business today, if you are to be successful, demands that you address climate resilience, that you have the systems in place to address the health and welfare of your people, and that you know of the interconnected nature of policy, people, and productivity.
In the meantime, CEO of the company's Office of Jamaica, Shelley Leon, is reiterating significant changes which makes it easier to start a business in Jamaica.
Persons can now come only to the company's Office of Jamaica, and instead of completing 60 pages of form, they complete 8 pages, and in that one step they get registered with the company's office, they get their taxpayer registration number, in the case of companies, a TCC, they get registered with the NIS, Hard Trust, and the NHD.
Now, Main Event Entertainment Group reported a 15% decline in net profit for the quarter ended January 31, 2024, compared to the same quarter last year. Net profit for the quarter totaled $100.254 million. That's $17.695 million less than the corresponding 2023 period. Main Event says the company continues to operate in an increasingly competitive and largely difficult environment. However, performance was anchored by diversifying main event's client base through strategic targeting and efficient management of operations. And that was your business report. I'm Andrew Laidley.
The next Royal Palm Estate.
Probably to break into a Sankey would help to ease the pain and anguish that we all feel.
You can stay here. That doesn't seem appropriate. Besides, Julia would have a fit.
Come here to me.
They're just going to have to learn who's in charge around here.
There's no shame about sickness, unless it's something like AIDS.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present my partner, Miss Tracy Holness.
I would like a nice woman to be my wife.
Mr. Levy will now read the last will and testament of Mr. Edward George Blackburn.
Jamaica's favorite drama, Your Guilty Pleasure. Keep up with the Blackburns this Tuesday at 9 p.m. Brought to you by MIB Insure.
Switch to MIBinsure.com today and save serious money.
Truth is, HIV affects everyone. Truth is, avoiding care leads to a weaker immune system. That means you could get really sick. The truth is, the hardest pill to swallow isn't the medication. It's the problems that follow when you don't take them. Let's get through this together. Remain in care. You can live life to the fullest with HIV. And that's the truth. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Unleash the dragon with Rumstripe, Gen XS, and us, CVM TV. We're on the road and in the fets for Carnival in Jamaica 2024 with Gen XS. Get the exclusive all season long on CVM TV and social media. Chip with us weekly inside the XS Pump Party Series every Friday. Experience Marshall Montano live for both the Gen XS Immortals Juve and on the road with the biggest band, Gen XS. Stay with us for XS Street Carnival Sunday and more fetting on Monday with Ocean X Catamaran Cruise and XS Sunset, the coolest cool down jam. Rumstripe Gen XS, Unleash the Dragon on CVM TV.
What's your story? What's your sign? We're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive.
Yes, you heard right. CVM Sunrise now has its own YouTube channel. Catch up with the morning antics of our hosts, Mrs. Kitty, Dennis Brooks, Tammy Chin Mitchell, and IT Ellis. Subscribe now to see it happen.
On the next Royal Palm Estate.
Probably to break into a Sankey would help to ease the pain and anguish that we all feel.
You can stay here. That doesn't seem appropriate. Besides, Julia would have a fit.
Come here to me.
They're just going to have to learn who's in charge around here.
There's no shame about sickness, unless it's something like AIDS.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present my partner, Miss Tracy Holness.
I would like a nice woman to be my wife.
Mr. Levy will now read the last will and testament of Mr. Edward George Blackburn.
Jamaica's favorite drama, Your Guilty Pleasure. Keep up with the Blackburns this Tuesday at 9 p.m. Brought to you by MIB Insurance.
Switch to MIBinsure.com today and